We are now live, and this is the toughest environment you have ever been a part of. Who is more abusive when it comes to relationship, men or women? We're going to get to the bottom of this.
Time to set the stage with the lights off. Let the little nigga breathe till the fight's lost. You ain't never like the room with the bright sauce. Hail Mary, they despise what the light brought. Let them roach niggas bleed if they can't see. Side at a TV, what you can't be. They say that murder on my mind, now they can't breathe. Take a picture of the crew, that's your last peep. Oh, and need me or love, yeah, that's just me. Keep them jumping like some frogs, so they might be leave when the sun sets. And they don't really wanna bleed from the gunplay. And like mine, niggas smoking weed on the one-way street, nigga. Yeah, we see we outside with it. Pull up to debates like we might be with it on guard. Side these niggas like bullshit and they fraud. Let me chop them down with the sword. Walk them down like they live bars. This the toughest you gon' be in, we too hard. And you don't really want that smoke, my G. Side net on TV, this the toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in, the toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in, the toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in, the toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in, the toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in, toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Keep that off your lip before you get flipped. We got sources over here, we don't just spit. Too many bosses over here, y'all just legit. Put them niggas in the game, let them get real. Don't even step unless you come in with that scholarship. That economic tip, gotta make a dollar flip. And I might be next, I don't give a damn, a truth rolling with me, so I'm feeling like the son of man. Too many gon' hate, gotta make a stand. I'm just trying to duck the lake, you don't understand. Read them when I greet them, that's my best plan. Head first shit, I'm just saying. Nigga meet me in LA, oh you just playing. Too many be fake, what the base saying. So I tell them they don't want no smoke before they end up in the newspaper next day. Smoke, this the toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. And this is it right here. The toughest you gon' ever be in. You wasn't conscious before us. Y'all niggas was asleep. We woke the sleeping giant. We did it. Side dinner TV. So stay your ass in your little box where you feel safe. Cause it's motherfucking monsters over here. Real monsters.
Peace and Pan-Africanisms to Brother Herman Smalls in the toughest environment you can be in.
All right. Nicole, I'm still waiting on this. Everybody, understand you are in one of the toughest environments to be in, and this is going to get a little hot. It's going to get a little heated. It's really not male against female. We love the black woman. Captain Tazaryach ain't going nowhere. He loved the black woman. This is just going to be some tough love given on both sides. I know it, on both sides. So just strap up, get prepared. Let's not get emotional, but some of us might get emotional. I think, I'm gonna keep it real. I think some of you brothers are more emotional than the sisters too at times, especially some of you Israelites. Y'all can be emotional as hell. Not ISUPK, but I'm talking about some of you other Israelites out there. I've witnessed it all. I've seen you, man, get way more emotional than the sisters. So the topic is, who is more abusive when it comes to men or women, men and women? All right, let's get it in. Let's talk about it. And there it is. Let's go. Who want to start off the conversation? I don't have no questions yet, but I will.
The questions.
Go ahead, Nicole.
I know Dots and Sister Freedom are ready to go. Peace to the sisters. Peace to Sister Wise.
We waiting on Tommy and we waiting on Black Sage. They will hit the panel soon.
I just want to say to everybody real quick, thank you for being in here. Hit the like. This is going to be a great build. And I did send you the questions. So you can get the questions and start with the sisters if you want. They're in your email.
Okay. Oh, the email. Okay, yes, I see it. All right. Go ahead, Nepal. You can start it off. I want you to set it off.
Let me just first start out and say this is for building, not tearing down. With that understood, Sonetta is the one who had the idea to do this particular stream, and I really appreciate it. Who is more abusive when it comes to relationships? Let me just ask the first question, get this going. And I'll start with Dots, and we'll go around to the ladies if Captain doesn't mind. We'll save the best for last, so we'll get to Captain for last. Okay, so Dots, is hitting in a relationship ever justified? And if you say no, what do you say about hitting your children in disciplinary situations? So please answer that for us.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. Peace to the chat, peace to the panel. Thanks for inviting me up on the panel. I think that so it depends on it depends on where the hitting is taking place, because we're grown people here, right? So like on one side of the thing, right, there's some piece to where, people may like that type of thing when they are intimate with their partner, right? And so it works there. But in terms of being abusive and putting your hands on another person, period, is very dangerous. It shouldn't be tolerated. But I also feel like, especially being a mom of sons, also, I think sometimes females, we can take advantage of the fact that we're a woman in a sense, because if we're putting our hands on a man and we just expect them to take it, right? And then if he defends himself, it's a problem. So I think it's two-sided. There's never really anything clear cut, but no, do not put your hands on me. I'm not putting my hands on you. And that's just how it should be, unless it's in the bedroom and we're having an intimate moment. If that's how it's thinking.
Okay, so yeah, we could get into talking about domestic discipline, which is separate from this. So I'm glad you clarified that. What about corporal punishment for your children? Is that ever okay?
You mean of course, I think everyone has a right to raise their children how they want to raise their children. I do know that it can be excessive. And when you're talking about corporal punishment, you're saying like as a parent, you're not talking about someone else touching the child, right? Yeah. So I think that parents definitely should have the freedom to raise their child or children how they want to raise them. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it borders on abuse, right? Because that also is a word that's sort of like murky waters with gray. But like if it's to the point to where it is abusive, right? Like you're leaving marks on your children, that should never be okay. That should never be okay. Personally, for me, I have sons. I don't have any daughters. I've never had to put my hands on my sons, right? But they also had a father who also instilled the fear of God in them, that if you ever even think about, raising your boys or doing X, Y, and Z to your mom, it's going to be a problem. So I've never really had to do it myself. But I think a parent has I think they have the freedom to raise their child how they want to raise their child.
Thank you, Dots. Sister Freedom, what about you? Is hitting in a relationship ever justified? And if you say no, what about hitting your children? You're muted.
Peace and love, everybody. HOK all day. Thank you for inviting me. Okay. I'm going to say no. Absolutely not. Hitting is never a necessity in a relationship. And I find that the only time hitting comes into play is when one person is trying to have control over the other. One is not allowing the other person to either tell them what to do or stop them from doing something, but whatever it is, they're trying to have control. And that's when hitting may come into play. somebody's not doing something somebody wants the other person to do. And as far as kids is concerned, like Doc says, that's kind of iffy. I have a son. I've never had to beat my son. Okay. But I can see where he's a man, so he may form a sense of he thinks he's supposed to be the leader type person. So I might have to buck up. It's not that I have to hit him, but I can make him feel like it's getting ready to go there because of him naturally growing into being a man. And he may want to control me even though I'm his mother. So I can see that. But no, I do not ever feel like it's ever a reason to put your hands on somebody, not from the woman and not from the man.
Thank you so much, Sister Freedom. Peace to you, Tommy. I see you came in. Peace to Tommy Sotomayor. Senator, you want to take the mic?
Yes, I gotta attack that. See, that's the European teaching. That's the white teaching. When I was coming up and you do something wrong, my moms will pop the hell out of you. My dad, I ain't had no dad in the house, but my mom will pop the hell out of us. And I'm gonna let you know now, if you don't discipline your child with the belt sometimes, guess what? The goddamn government is gonna do it. The police is gonna do it. So you can see that's when a woman is at home by herself and she's trying to raise a child and she don't want to beat the goddamn child when he's doing bad. Sometimes you got to give what is called tough love and beat their ass. Beat their ass. I got beaten with stitching cords. I got beaten with a belt. And goddamn it, when I got caught smoking cigarettes in the basement after going home with my mama, I ain't never do it again. She ain't never had to come to class again for me. So when she will have to come to school, and sometimes she will smack me upside my head in front of the class, and I never did it again. That is the most embarrassing thing you could go through. And if we don't discipline our child, the goddamn police gonna do it, or the goddamn jail system gonna do it. That's just me. Go ahead. I'm passing the mic. And say the question again in the part for Tommy, so he can get it. That's the first question we asked, Tommy.
So the question is it okay ever is violence or hitting in a relationship situation ever justified? And if you don't think so, what about corporal punishment toward children? So that's the question.
Nepal, did all the ladies go?
Actually, we have Sister Wise
and Dots.
No,
but no, she's just reading the question again for Tommy because he just came in.
Look,
no, I know that, but I didn't want to speak because I know Nepal said she wanted all the ladies to go.
I mean, first. if you want to go ahead, Sister Wise, you want to let Captain
No, I'm fine. I'm fine with her going. I was just asking.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Captain. I'm sorry. Sister Wise, would you like to answer that so we can hear from the other panelists?
Absolutely. I think that we should never, as two grown adults, put hands on one another. It's just not that type of party. When you're grown, and if you can't talk it out, if you can't get a plan of action together, absolutely no. You shouldn't put your hands on one another. In terms of children, I would say, based on my experience, the father or the father's not in a home, uncles, I think that a male should jack the boys up as opposed to the mom. I really think that when the mom is dominating and beating and spanking, it psychologically can cause some issues with the male child now wanting to date Black women, but has a little bit of fear. So I would say, if you have two mothers, you got to do what you need to do. But if you have an uncle or a father in the house or a grandfather, I think that the men should discipline the male child. That's just my opinion.
I love that answer. Thank you, Sister Wise. Moving on to Captain Tazaryach, and then we will last but not least get to Tommy Sotomayor. So, Captain, you don't need me to repeat it, do you?
No, I don't need you to repeat it. I think that I do like what the sister said, when nobody should hit nobody. If male and female were raised that way, we might not have the problems that we have, because we're raised that a girl can hit boys, but the boys can't hit the girls back. And so by the time they become adults, they're so accustomed of physical abuse that mental abuse comes right with it. The way they talk to them, the way they disrespect them, the way they put their hands on them. And the minute a black man says the B word, if he says the N word, if he calls you anything, if he defends himself and strikes you because you wailing on him, he's immediately a victim. So I think we got to be careful with that. And then the thing with the parents, that's why I always go back to you got to be careful with who you have children with, because once you become a single mom or a single dad, you are now handicapped. The reason why single mothers are handicapped because single mothers are not disciplinarians. You can't do the job no matter how much you try. That child is not going to look at you like you're the discipline authority. Just like a child is not going to look at the father like a nurturing authority. There's a balance that's created when you have a mother and a father actively in the house, because even if the father is in the house and his job is to discipline, the mother is there to make sure he don't go too far. But when the mother is trying to discipline, the reason why she goes over the top and get extension cords and shit like that, because she doesn't know how to deviate pain. She doesn't know how to deviate punishment. She don't know how to actually discipline. So she just make up in her mind, I'm going to beat him till I see the welts.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. She don't look at a father comes in there. You ever notice they used to make these jokes? I used to see these videos where they would say, this is how a dad watches the kids. And the dad just be watching TV. He ain't running around the house. He ain't doing nothing. And when he hear a bunch of noise, he says, hey. And that's all it takes. And everybody's like, oh, y'all heard daddy, y'all heard daddy, y'all heard the uncle, y'all heard this one. And everybody immediately gets quiet, because a man doesn't have to always use his hands when it comes to children for discipline, because it's almost, we won't, if we're all spiritual people, right? We have to realize that even discipline is something that kids see spiritually. When they see a woman, when they see the mother, they see somebody that they can try to get over on. When they see the father, they see somebody they can't get over on. And anybody that's, especially if you're parents and been in that dynamic, you see the difference. So no, what is reflective of a lot of the answers is single parent homes, and that's a problem. But when it comes to hitting, nobody should hit nobody. But if you put your hands on somebody, or if you say something to somebody, you can't then dictate how they respond to what you did to them. I'll land right there.
Thank you so much, Captain, for that answer. And now, last but not least, Mr. Sotomayor, is it ever okay to hit in a relationship? And if not, what about corporal punishment towards your children for discipline?
I don't know when people say, is it ever okay? If you come at me with a knife, I'm going to punch you in the face. I mean, it's just what's going to happen. So sometimes it's okay for me to use some violence, because there's some violence that's about to get used on me, number one. But number two, I always find it strange, and I think everybody gave good answers, except you, Sonetta. Sonetta, you gave that answer from that slave talk, that my mama beat me to keep me from the police beating me. Let me tell you something from a psychologist standpoint. Usually, what do you learn if all you saw, let's imagine, if all you saw was a nasty house, what did you learn by the time you got old? How not to clean. You didn't learn to clean. If you saw violence being perpetrated against yourself every time you did something wrong, what all did you learn? That when someone does something wrong to you, you'd use violence against them. You rarely, which is a lot of people don't have in the Black community, have this one big skill: conflict resolution. And the reason we don't, because we were always dominated. Even when we were children, our usually mothers say some of the dumbest things. Children are to be seen and not heard. So you're going to tell me this person went 18 years and never were heard, and now they grown, they're supposed to go out into the world and know what to say. Well, they were never heard. So we send people out into the world unprepared because we think beating them is the best thing. And especially when we say we beat them because the police gonna beat them. The police ain't just out here beating people. So it's a crazy thing to say, because maybe we should tell them to obey laws. If they obeyed laws, they wouldn't get beat. I'm 49 years old. I've never been beaten by a cop. But I remember hearing my mom say this. But you know who I have been beaten by? Niggas. Now that has happened, but no cop has ever done it. And you know why Negroes do that? Because they don't know how to have conflict resolution. When I was at your event, the brother came up to me and asked me several questions. I answered every one of them very thoroughly. After I finished, what did he say to me? Well, I don't like you anyway, nigga, and punched me when I turned to my back. And you know what that was all over? What he saw me say on the internet that he didn't like. And he believed, and a lot of people around him believe, that his actions were justified because if I don't like something, I can put my hands on somebody. And do you know where that comes from? Women. Women, like my man Cap just said, well, they believe they can put their hands on a man and nothing will happen. I don't like what you said. I'll throw a drink in your face. We all know that if we do these things to a man, especially when we by ourselves, it's going to be a bunch of scrapping and ain't going to be nobody that'll save us. So that's why you didn't see me get hit by myself standing there with that man. And that's why you didn't see him stand up and put up his dukes, because he did like what a woman does. They hit you and then the crew come and save him when you get ready to beat her up. Maybe we should keep our hands to ourselves. There's been some wonderful answers. And I'll wrap it up with this, though. When it comes to a relationship, I think it's a funny dynamic that we as adults believe that if children do something wrong, corporal punishment fits, we should beat them. But what is the thing we know about children? Children are just learning life. They don't know better. We say, I told you to clean up that room. You didn't. I'm going to whoop your ass. Cool. Well, lady, I told you to have my dinner ready when I came home, and you grown as hell. You done lived way longer than this child. So shouldn't I be able to whoop your ass because you didn't do what I said? How about you didn't clean that room and you knew you were supposed to clean that room? You a grown woman. So I can beat a child because the child didn't clean the room. I can beat a child because they didn't follow my orders. But because you're an adult, I got to keep my hands on myself. Well, last I checked, in boxing matches, they try to match up people who are closest together for fights. And I wasn't close to that child, so I should have been putting my hands on that child. But you and me about the same size, lady. So I should be able to get you in the ring. So if you don't want me putting you in the ring, quit putting your hands on that child. How about raise children that understand what you're saying, comprehend what you're saying, but ultimately have enough respect for you to follow your rules. So you don't got to put your hands on them.
Yes. Whenever somebody want to chime in, just throw your hand up. Right. What I want to say, Tommy, it was so much confusion that day. When that happened to you, I immediately stopped my program. The building was crowded. And I don't know if you've seen it or recognized it, but I immediately stopped my program. I didn't know them dudes from Baltimore. I came out there, I put myself on the line too. So I came out there and I immediately did my best to protect you. What did I do? I grabbed you, I pulled you upstairs. You know the balcony, Captain, where Genuine Honda sits at the theater. So I came
you did your thing. I'm saying those guys because of how they were raised.
I came out there. I made sure that we was able to take you upstairs and secure you where nobody would be able to get in there. I didn't have Captain in them there that day, I don't think.
No, we wasn't there.
They usually be good security.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have never happened if I had Captain there, you know. But now let me harken back to what you were saying, Tommy, when you said everybody was good except mine. So I gotta address that. Brother, we are born in different eras. I might be 10 years older than you. I don't know. We were born in different eras. And when I came up, like you said, all I had was my mother. And my mother took care of 7 of us. So yeah, it could have been a woman's thing. You know what I'm saying? Where we was driving moms crazy in the house. 7 of us. And we going crazy and she got to manage that. And so, brother, when she put that belt to me, she ain't never had to worry about me again. So it works for me. It works for, it depends on who it's working for. So it worked for me. I never wanted to see my mother come to school again. That shit was embarrassing. I didn't want her to hit me, come pick me up from the damn precinct. That would be embarrassing. So I was getting into a lot of trouble, But yeah, when I wasn't the only one. There was a lot of us, man. A lot of the parents getting them beatings, brother. Sometimes remember the old lady would tell you, go outside in the field and bring me back a switch. And if you bring back a little switch, she going to get the big switch. But go ahead.
So I gotta ask you.
I'm going to jump in for 1 second. Let me say one thing.
I just want when people address me, I just kind of want to address them back.
It's gonna be quick, Tommy. Give me 1 second. I know a situation where a mother dealt with her older son, and she spanked him, got the belt, and did what mother did. And then she decided on the younger one not to do it. The oldest one that got beat down and disciplined or whatever, he said the reason why I didn't rob, the reason why I didn't do the things that the baby did is because I feared that whip. I feared that belt, that butt beating that I got from my mother. But the younger one that didn't get it, he ended up in prison and did a lot of mischief because he didn't have that fear. So all I'm saying is sometimes, like Sai said, depending on the situation, we can't really, because even the Bible says that you're supposed to sort of get in that tail. So Sai's mother, I think, did a good job for him to turn out like he is. And so it works both ways, Tommy. Sometimes it'll work out for the child and other times it won't. But anyway, that's it.
Can I say something, please? Tommy, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I think it was on Tommy.
Well, because they're saying things to what I said. So dialogue, I'm feeling.
I was going to say with you, Tommy. I was
let Tommy respond.
I'll let a third one go. I'll just write notes.
Respond, Tommy, and then I'll
I'll just write notes.
You want to forget it.
Go ahead. I'll just take notes.
Okay. You know what, Si, I came up in your era. Okay. What I'm saying is I had so many beatings that I said I'm never going to beat my children. I'm going to find a different way on how to deal with my kids. I think only one of my kids ever had a spanking from me, right? And after that spanking, I think I cried with my child. It didn't make a difference. They still do stuff. Just because you beat their behind, and you could beat their behind for the same thing over and over and over, and they still do the same things. Like you get a beating for wetting the bed. You get a beating for saying a cuss word, or like you said, being caught smoking or whatever. But it doesn't stop the child from doing bad things or what you would consider bad. Instead, you could have sat down and talked with the child, told them why you didn't want them to do this, how it can affect their life. I think that there was a different way that we could work with our children without beating them. I just think that there's a different way. I found a different way of dealing with my kids, because I know even though you beat them, they still gonna pee the bed. You could just whoop they behind for peeing the bed, and the next night they pee the bed again. So it don't always work. And you just think about your own life when you grew up. You still ended up in jail. Not saying you, I'm talking about in general people. You still ended up in jail. You still did this. You still did that. So all that beating, not all the time works. It just doesn't. You know what I'm saying? As far as what Captain Tazaryach was saying about dad. Tazaryach. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce it. That's because I'm getting tongue-tied from talking. But it was Big Mama that walked in the house. You know me, you be good. When Big Mama walked in the house is when everybody was scared. When my growing up, when she walked in, everybody was like, "Oh, here come my mom. We gotta get it right," because she was the one who handed out the whoopings, and Pop was right there too. But it was always Big Mama that handed out the behind whoopings. So it's kind of a difference right there too. But that's all I had to say. I agree with mostly everybody, but okay.
All right, go ahead, Tommy.
All right, I'm gonna give y'all two words: recidivism and calluses. Hopefully y'all know what they mean, but if you don't, callus. Typically you will get a callus on your hands from doing repetition of hard work, labor, or activity that is repetitive, which then teaches your skin to be used to it and not have the pain to it anymore. Recidivism means that your ass keeps going back to jail. You got out, you went back. You got out, you went back. Now, Black folks keep thinking that, well, I know this guy and he got beat and he said it made him not go to jail. Well, I know plenty of people in jail who said, yeah, I got my ass whooped. I just didn't listen to my mama. So when we say these things, y'all saying something like a coin flip, except for the difference is the coin falls more times on getting my ass beat didn't stop me from doing what it was I was doing. Because if that's the case, then we might as well let the cops whoop our kids' ass. If y'all logic is beating will stop a person from doing it, then go on and let the cop do it. Then let the teacher do it and let the neighbor do it. Let everybody beat your child so your child will become a good citizen. That's not how it works. Which is why I say the things that I say. Y'all know I always jump myself in and point to things in the audience. I notice I came here and I spend my time and I make sure that I give very good stuff. But because a lot of the black men and women that's raised in y'all's audience that get together to watch y'all have been raised by disrespectful and abusive people, the first thing they do when I walk into your show is to start being disrespectful. I'm Tom. I got mommy issues. That's how niggas like to talk to each other. They don't think that they can have a situation where they're not disrespectful. Why? Because they grew up in that. They grew up in the era of all we do is Joan. So all we do is try to get under other people's skin. And you keep trying to get under my skin. What did I learn from being in my mama's house or being in that house where beating is? To fight you because you just disrespected me. How many black fights, physical or death, has happened and they told you so and so disrespected me? So my thought of dealing with stuff comes from when I was a kid, a child, that if you disrespect your mama, you gonna get hurt. And the sad way, that's why I like when the young lady said, we have these people who, if they beat these boys with these women, they have a different thought of how women are. She said, Big Mama come in, that's the only people that they respect. I remember that. My mama didn't have no respect for no man, but she had a whole lot of respect for my grandmama. That's the only person I ever seen get my mama told. That's a bad situation when the only person can get a woman told is a bigger or older woman. What does that show boys? It shows boys they got to worry about what they say or how they say it. But women don't have to worry about anything. Why do you think when you have a conversation with these young women today and you try to point out some good direction to them, what will they tell you? I'm grown. Goes back to what I said earlier. Because you told this person children should be seen and not heard. You know what that child learned? That as soon as I turn 18, can't nobody tell me nothing. Kanye West got a song like that. I can get to a point where you can't tell me nothing, which means I now cannot be told anything and I don't have to listen to anything. You give that kind of power to the weakest of your vessels, women, because they are the weakest physically. What they're going to do is do just like the 9th grade kid whose brother's a senior. You know what the 9th grade kid always does? Pick on people who bigger than him. Why? Because you know his big brother gonna come save him. Women did not earn that power. The big nigga on the block, you know why everybody's scared of him? Because he whooped ass. He earned that title. Even in jail, you earned that title of not getting messed with. Women didn't earn it. It was given to them. They ain't beat no man. They didn't beat nobody. It's just men say, you can't put your hands on that female, which then makes that woman like that 9th grader want to put their hands more on other people because they believe there's this invisible mirror. I'll give you black folks right now. We love calling white folks crackers, fatbacks, all kind of stupid names y'all got for these white people. They still got one name for y'all that send you running. The N-word. Years, decades of the N-word. It ain't changed. They got one bullet loaded in their gun that will always send you off. But you spend your whole life trying to find new words to insult them, and they supposed to just listen to it. They don't get fired from it. You don't get fired from your job. You don't get a score. You don't get nothing that happens to you when you keep coming up with all these euphemisms for whites. Yet they got the one in the gun and that they going to give it to you. You going to be upset. That's why I talk about the people in the audience. Leave me the hell alone. But you won't leave me the hell alone because you think it's funny to do it. So then don't get mad why you hate me for all these years with all the stuff that I put up there, because it ain't mama issues, it's nigga issues. Y'all spent your whole life trying to be mean to people. So when people get a chance to be mean back to you, they do it. So the best thing to do is just leave me alone, because every time I hit, I go extra white. Anyway, that's the thing. Stop being disrespectful and abusive to people. And black people never learned that because we spend our time growing up being abused. That's why I'm anti-abuse.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you, Tommy. And by the way, to the mods, please be extra vigilant. I absolutely agree. We don't invite people over here for you to get your frustrations out on them by putting stupid comments and trying to abuse our guests. So
That's right.
Please just time them out, or even if you want, if it's really bad, just block them. I'm tired of
no blocking. Just get them for 24 hours.
You
See
know what's funny?
tomorrow.
When I say time them out 24 hours, you say no, I'll just block them.
So no, that's for other comments, like other comments inviting people to their privacy and all that, and talking about mothers. So yeah, just get them out of the home if they keep it
off of saying that. But I do appreciate you signing that, and if you just make sure it's said again. You didn't do anything wrong. I was pointing out that man, because of the way he was raised, didn't think that I would have a conversation with him, and that made him more upset. A lot of women have found out when they just have a conversation with their abusive male partner, you know what he'll do? Become more abusive. Ask some women in the comment section. They'll say, I was nicer to him thinking, well, this will solve it. Me cowering made him want to be more abusive. Because a lot of people don't know conflict resolution. They think you being, what is the main thing we usually say in the black community? I ain't no punk. It looks like you being a punk if you put your hand up and say, well, I don't want to fight. Yeah. They'll go back and say, you was a punk. That's why so many dead brothers now, because they don't want to be looked at as punks.
Thank you very much. That's absolutely true. So, Sonetta, would you like to go on? I'm hand the mic.
No, you can do the questions. You good. You can handle that. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, if you want to chime in with answering the questions, that'd be great too. Since you gave us your feedback on the. At least we didn't have an echo chamber, right? So let me ask a question back. Still talking about violence in relationships. I'll start with Captain Tazaryach this time. Should a woman ever forgive a man? Oh, wait, Captain's camera's off. He might be busy. Let me. Oh, okay, Captain, you got to have some dinner. I got you. Captain, let me ask you seriously, though. Should a woman in a relationship, in a serious relationship, is there ever a time when she should forgive a situation where there's violence that has been done toward her? Not toward her mate, but should she ever, or she should just walk away from the relationship? Like we say, don't ever let a man put his hands on you, leave. Is there ever a chance that she could possibly stay and things would be reconciled?
There's a lot into that, because let's say if she caused it, let's say if she put her hands on him and then he retaliated, let's say if she did something to him and he retaliated. So that's not an easy one-off way of leave him alone. But let's say if he's abusive, what I would say first, sometimes in these type of conversations, this is the importance of understanding the individual that you're going to accept as your mate, because you got to be looking for signs of their abuse before you get with them. But now let's say if you don't know, if this person had just beat you for no reason, you might want to stay away from that person, because if that person beat you for no reason and you accept him, you know what that means, right? He's going to beat you again. And that goes both ways. The same thing. If that brother accepts that abuse from a woman and you take it back, she's going to do it again, unless there's something in place that can genuinely stop the abuse. The abuse usually just keeps going. So I would always say stay away, get some counseling, get some help, get some assistance before you just go back, because then you're getting your behind beat. That's better than calling your brothers or your fathers or uncles to come and fight him and beat him up, and then you're gonna get back with him anyway, which usually happens as well. So I'll stop right there.
Before I move on, I want to ask you this part.
Okay.
I want to ask you something else, and I'll give this question to everybody. What about should I shouldn't say woman or man, just anybody? Should a person stay in a relationship if there's some verbal abuse that they cross the line? You like how I did that, Captain?
Yeah, I do like how you did that. There's a caveat with that too, because we all got a problem with our mouth. Our mouth can set off. Like even I think it's James 2 and James 3 when it talks about how small the mouth is, but how much of a fire it can cause. So there ain't nobody innocent when it comes to the mouth and how you say stuff. So When it comes to that mental abuse, there's a term, especially for our people, they call it trauma bonding. And trauma bonding is also reflective to how we're raised. So think about you raised up watching your mama yell with her friends, cuss people out and stuff like that. A lot of men argue like their mama argue. You know what I mean? So now you bring that into relationships where sometimes you feel like the only way this is genuine love is if we're arguing. So I don't think that mental abuse is not healthy at all. But to say to walk away from somebody mentally abusing you, I don't know if it's as simple as that, because you can leave that one mental abuser, then get in another relationship. And if he or she is mentally abusing you, and then the next one, if he or she, at some point, it just might be you. It might be you that's the problem and not the other way around. So mental abuse is a two-way street in some regards. But if you're getting abused, you want to get that abuse fixed before you just willingly accept it again. And that's something you got to put your foot down right in the beginning of what you will accept and what you won't accept. I'll stop right there.
Thank you, Captain. Go ahead, Senator, please.
All right, family. I need this to turn up. Let's get real now. Let's get real now. Who is more abusive when it comes to relationship, men or women? I'm gonna straight up say the woman is more abusive than men. Most of the time, we run. We don't want to be bothered. We got to leave the house, get in the car, go for a drive, because a lot of us, you can't defeat our women when it comes to arguing. You know, abuse is not always physical; it's mental as well. And y'all will go so deep into really putting us down. Like, you know, the words that y'all say to really hurt us. You know, you say things that really gets into our skin. So I would say the women, I'm gonna set it off, man. I'm gonna say, and it's not about black, male, female bashing. I'm just keeping it real. Women are more abusive when it comes to relationships than the brothers. Because most of the time, what we do, we just run and leave. Sometimes we got to hold your hand, make sure you don't hit us, you know. And if we hit you, y'all automatically call the cops. The cops ain't trying to hit nothing. We getting handcuffed. Yeah, I want to press charges. You call the man on us, you know? And so we just basically get the hell up on out of there. We don't want to hit you, because if we hit you, we're going to leave a scar on you. So I would definitely say that the women is more abusive. I'm setting the tone. I'm going all the way in. This is the toughest environment. Let's turn it up. Let's go. That's my thought. That's my cue on that.
Well, can I? Is it okay if I go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Of course.
Well, I'm going to say the men. I'm going to say the men, because men have a sense of trying to control you. Okay, so men have a tendency, and most of the time, if you're going to say a woman, it's a reaction from an action. Most of the time, she's doing something out of hurt, or you done just totally disrespected her, and that's where it comes from. That's where it will come from a woman doing a reaction from your action. But most of the time, it's the man trying to have control. He will even go so far as, like you said, a woman will be saying stuff to try to put you down. A man, just so you can stay underneath of him, he'll say things to try to get to you so you can have some form of control over her. You try to say things to hurt her. I mean, she could be talking to you on the phone. You're slamming the phone in her ear. You know she can't get to you. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff that y'all do that is mental abuse, and it is physical abuse, because you're trying to have control over her. You're trying to show her that you are the boss, you are the leader, you are the one, you are this. That's the reason why the abuse comes. And you have to be honest. You have to be honest and say that this girl is doing what she's doing because it's a reaction from something that you have done to her. And that is the straight. She ain't just coming, because women, we're nourishers by nature. This is by nature. We are nourishers. Okay. We just want to rock. We don't want to hit you. You done took us out of the state of mind of nourishment, and now you done put us in this state of mind is we don't give a care. Now it's on, and a woman fight is a different form of fight than you do with her. You know, and I'm gonna use myself as an example, okay? You know, if a man even remote, I think I put the fear of God in them first, so they won't even try it. They won't even try it because it would be best for me to walk away. It would be best for me to walk away if I even thought you was going to hit me. And that's why in my relationships from the gate, do not use profanity. I don't play to using profanity or nothing because I know my trigger points. So I you know what I'm saying, Paul? Like, don't do nothing. Don't do that. Don't do it.
And I want to hear more from you about how we prevent that. I do want to move on to
okay, but how we prevent it is is conversation. We need to talk. That's the only way is the conversation. And we have to get an understanding. You know, communication is everything. Communication is everything. And you should know your partner when you with your partner. What is the trigger points? What may make him do this or what may make her do that? You have to be comfortable enough to say, baby, listen.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Freedom. Tommy?
Thank you for allowing me.
Who's more abusive? I wonder what your answer is going to be. Who's more abusive? Women or men in relationships?
Women are way more abusive. Let me explain to you another passage in the Bible, like Kat was talking about. The tongue is sharper than any two-edged sword. As a psychologist, I know that people can get away. As a matter of fact, many of you may have things like I got. I put up a picture the other day of my knee getting drained. I didn't like it, the feeling of it. But boy, I like it today. I feel like I got a brand new daggum knee. It feels awesome. So I don't remember the pain like that anymore because of the joy of the after. But let me tell you what happens when you get your emotion and your psyche hurt. I don't know why me and Cap keep having this problem. I talk to him behind closed doors and he keep bringing up my personal business to these damn shows. I'm really getting upset. I told you I only hit her once and I said that I was going to do it. Now you trying to tell her not to come back to me. What's wrong with you? She is watching. Anyway, he don't mean it, but take your ass upstairs. Anyway, the point is,
yeah, I really don't mean it. I really don't.
The point is, when you are physically abusive mentally, that shit lasts. That's why you have all these serial killers and things like that. They come from that type of abuse because it sticks with you. But Kat was right. Like, again, if somebody cheat on you and you take them back, if they stay at the grocery store too long, you know what the first thing your mind gonna go to?
Mm-hmm. They're sexing somebody.
That mental abuse is really something. And that's why women will do that to men. They will say things like, the baby ain't yours. Then we'll come back later and say, you know, I just said that out of anger. So now you looking at your child like,
that's.
And there's a lot of brothers that done had that said to them, though. She got mad and she said something that's hard to take back. That's why Chris Rock told the joke. Women have the ability to be able to say something that they know is very difficult to come back from. Abuse, we don't talk about mental abuse that much. And when we do, we try to act like it's only women. Like the young lady said, well, when women do things, it's out of retaliation. You know what we're doing when we do that? Giving them the green light to do things. Ain't that the same lie women tell you when they cheat? But somehow when we cheat, we just dogs. But when they cheat, it was cause, oh, you didn't take me to the movies anymore. You didn't take me to the mall anymore. Well, I should have caught you at the mall and the movies with that man, not with his penis in your mouth. I put my penis in your mouth. You just said I didn't take you to the movies in the mall. So that's all he should have had to do. And then he should have sent you back home when it was time for penis in mouth. But that ain't what happened. But you still use the excuse. Women always have an excuse of why they do. When a woman when a woman unalives a man, every time y'all go look at any case, what's the first thing she says? He did something to me first. That's why it was my retaliation. He was abusive. It's never one time. So this adult can't just leave because you were abusive. They got to leave you dead before they leave. We wouldn't allow a man to do that. A man is never able to say she was mentally abusing me. That's why I put my hands on her. So I'm just going to retort to what she said. Most of the time when a man put his hands on a woman, I'm going to use the exact same thing she said. It's because he's done all he could and he just retaliated. He tried to talk and my mouth didn't work. So I'm going to see what my hands can do. Because men don't just start out beating women, I don't think. I don't know too many men on the first date just reached over and punched a woman in the face. May have, I don't know. I'd love to talk to some of those women what has happened. Women, though, literally start off relationships with men, especially in the black community, being abusive. Black men have suffered the type of abuse of walking up to a black woman and saying, excuse me, miss, can I get your number? Now, if she don't like the way you dress, if she don't like the way you look, she won't give you the respect of saying, no, sir, thank you for being, kind or enough to ask me, but I'm in a marriage or whatever. No. Nigga, I know you didn't with them shoes on. Men are so used to abuse that women give you abuse. Look at all the relationships when they break up. The woman is usually telling everybody how he got a little D, he can't F, he broke. So you got 3 babies by this broke man, but now you ain't together with him. You telling the whole world he broke. I remember the video I did where this man walked up on this girl. He had the flamer right up to her head. Put her on Facebook Live and told her, because she was trying to ruin his new relationship that he was in. Kept messing around, telling the girl he had STDs, all kind of stuff. He didn't, but she wanted to ruin his relationship. Finally, he got tired of it. He had the flame up to her head, put her on Facebook. She jumped there talking about I apologize for all the stuff I said. I'm really sorry. And his last words to her before he put her to sleep was, game over. And everybody looked at me and I said, and she got what she deserved. They said, I can't believe you're saying this. I said, why did this woman think that it could be her job to ruin this man's life and reputation, and all he got to do is walk on with his life? I don't know if y'all remember that woman from Fresh and Fit. That woman went around just telling all kinds of lies on me. What happened to her? What changed her life? She went from telling lies to they put her on Tasha K. Tasha K knew she was lying. Do they ever stop women from lying on you? Y'all remember that Shay girl went around lying on me. No problem doing it. Women get to do it. Nothing happens. Men's lives have been ruined right now. Brian Banks, 6.5 years in jail off of a lie. What happened to the woman? Nobody's more abusive to women. And finally, let me give y'all some real stats you can look at. You know who the number 1 abusers of children are? It ain't men. It's women. Like my man, Sotomayor said, he said, I grew up in a different era. No. We didn't in the same era. My mama used to beat the shit out of me too. She thought it was a fucking normal thing to beat the shit out of me. She liked telling people I beat the shit out of him. She liked telling me to go get the switch. I remember getting my ass whooped by racing car tracks. I thought it was just me. The next thing you know, I'm listening to E40 and he rapping about it. The problem is we are so used. That's why I said calluses. We get so used to the pain that we try to figure out how to stop the pain or divert the pain. And that's what we're doing. We grow up and we fantasize and fetishize the pain we went through because we internalize it and never dealt with it. That ain't right. And I'm glad that young lady said, well, when I got my ass whooped, I said, I'm not going to put my kids through this, because that's what we're supposed to be. The whole role of a parent is supposed to be better than the parent that came before us. We should always want to be better. And yet I remember hearing my parents, and I thought it was just a Southern thing. We didn't have no car. You don't need no car. We didn't have this. You don't need this. So wait a minute. You had kids to make sure you put a governor on them damn kids so they don't get no better than you? Poor parenting. And black women lead in this. That's why they are constantly abusing their children. Think about how many black boys have told you straight up, when I was 12, a 26-year-old woman gave me head. I got me some at 13. Almost every black kid, boy, got a story of an older black woman having sex with him. That's abuse. And yet we tell the boy, man, I wish when I was that age it happened to me. So now we're telling this boy how to deal with something he don't know how to deal with. Because you give a 13-year-old boy some puss, that's like giving a 13-year-old boy some cocaine. It's gonna feel great to him, but he don't know how to deal with it. Why do you think we got a lot of horn dogs running around now thinking that the only way they could be men is how many times they put their penis in somebody? That's why the women will tell you what to your face. You don't get no pee. She don't tell you, about the things that make a man a man. how well he treats his kid, how well he treats his woman. She just tell you straight up, you don't get no pee. So all I got to do is run around and get a bunch of pee, and I am now looked at as valuable in the community. That in itself is abuse. We have so many abuses that come across with these women. The women talk to us very abusively, to the point of where when a black man finally dates out and go get him a snow bunny, the first words a black woman will say is, "You'd with that girl because she let you get away with stuff a sister won't." That's what an abuser says.
Thank you, Tommy.
I got.
Go ahead, Sister Wise. Before you address him, who's more abusive, women or men in relationships?
Men are. But
okay,
Tommy, the scenarios that you're bringing up, it seems like these women are, can I say, low value. They seem to be hood women. Do you experience the stuff you're talking about with women that are like, for instance, Nepal or Sister Freedom? I mean, it seems like these stories are women that's in the hood. So I'm asking, do you think that it's hood women, average women, high value women? Like where do you hang at to be experiencing the things that you're talking about?
Let me ask you, where most black, let's just play a little game. First off, you asked the question loaded. You could have just asked me what type of women those are without loading it with "it seems like." Then let me answer. Therefore, I wouldn't have known what you were trying to get at. But you loaded it, which is a thing that a lot of black women do. They don't understand to ask a question, don't load the question. Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about, but that's okay.
You loaded it by saying "it seems like," when all you could have did was ask, and you would have gotten your answer without loading it. When you say "it seems like," you literally loaded it with what information did you get from me that made it seem like they're hood?
Okay, go ahead. Answer the question, please.
That was the point. So you try to load it, and then we do that a lot of times. That's the abuse. The women will load things when talking to men, and then put the man in position like they'll be like, "Seems like what's the one? Seems like you got mommy issues." Well, now you don't put that man in a situation to think that you're insulting him, unless he denies everything he just said. When you could have just said,
the way women communicate. If that's how I communicate, Tommy, and with me and the people that I'm around, shame on me. But I didn't.
Well, let me ask: are you hood?
I'm actually asking a question.
Oh, I know, but I'm actually teaching. Again, I'm teaching. If you were doing it and I'm teaching you, it's loaded, and then I show it to you how it's loaded. Why would you still keep trying to use the excuse of, well, that's how I was? Because then the next question from me will be, are you hood?
Okay.
Because if you're not,
Tommy,
then you would.
I specifically asked the question. Can you just answer it? Because I don't want to.
Well, I'm answering it the way I wanted to, because you asked it the way you wanted to.
I wanted to ask.
Yes, hold on. But you got it out.
But you got it
out uninterrupted. Ma'am, didn't you get it out uninterrupted?
Okay.
Your ridiculous question still was uninterrupted when you got it out.
I don't think it was ridiculous. And I'm
but
telling
I do.
You,
hey,
I'm
hey,
not trying
hey.
to do this with you. I'm not trying to do this with you.
Ma'am, don't. Ma'am, don't. No, ma'am, I ain't your punk. Don't. Don't tell me what you ain't trying to do. If you don't want me to answer it, go on.
I'm not about to
you ain't
go
gonna punk
on.
me. You ain't gonna punk me.
I don't like most of you. So
you ain't gonna punk me, lady.
A question.
And you could have let me answer it. You could have shut up and let me answer it.
I'm waiting. I'm just waiting. Go ahead. I'm waiting.
I was answering it. Was I not answering it? Ma'am, was not answering it.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, in fairness, everybody has spoken uninterrupted until this point.
Yes.
As a point of everybody. Every single person has spoken, agree to disagree. We've all spoken uninterrupted. So there was no need to interrupt Tommy at that point.
Okay, thank you.
Even if you disagree.
Captain, let me say this. It was as though I was trying to attack him, and I actually wasn't. So if somebody think that I'm trying to load and do something malicious, I gotta say that I wasn't. I actually wanted to ask the question.
I was, ma'am, if you stepped on my foot and you didn't know it, and I pointed out that you did, why would you argue with me and say I'm making it seem like you stepped on my foot on purpose? If you didn't do it on purpose, then you'd be more receptive, which is why I said, if I'm supposed to be telling you something right now that you didn't know, that is why we never get anywhere. Because if a person's abusive and you tell them I'm taking this as abuse, they spend all their time trying to tell you how that ain't what they meant. But you are a different human being.
Go ahead. Okay, thank you, Tommy. Now, would you like to, or do you still want to answer a question?
I don't mind answering it.
Okay, thank you.
When you
Tommy.
say they're hood, one, we have to talk about, are they hood? One, we have to talk about the idea of nobody will see me with no hood women. When they say just like Nepal, I don't know what Nepal is. I've never been with Nepal.
Please don't put me in it.
Now that's what I'm saying. When people do that, it's like, why would we do that to somebody? That's like saying, just like Mike, and Mike out here molesting kids, but because you didn't see it, you want to use Mike as a bastion of good men. Well, he's not. When you say hood, hell, I'm hood. I am from the hood, I guess. I'm from the projects, I guess. But I'm also quite educated and well-spoken. I know plenty of educated, well-spoken whores. Abusive. Many of y'all know them. Many of y'all know women who put on airs, as my grandmother used to say. They look great in public. They look great at church. And then they go home and beat their kids to death and neglect them. So when we go by using this, do they look like this? No, ma'am. They've looked like several different things. I've had lawyers, doctors, engineers. There was a woman who was a NASA scientist who threw on a whole diaper and drove from Houston to Orlando to try and murder a woman. She wasn't hood. She did it. The point is a mentality. And the mentality then is what I'm talking about. So that's why I said it was loaded, because they're not hood, which made them bad. What made them bad was their mentality, and it didn't matter where they were raised. It was they had this thought of women get away with. I'm gonna give you this huge example. There's this old woman. She was 76 years old. You can look it up. She was murdering these old homeless people and taking their SSI checks, burying them in her backyard. You know the story? You know, yeah, she was burying them in her backyard. Well, here's how women get away with stuff so much that it's easy for them to do it, just like the Nightingale killers. The police came, found the bodies in her backyard. And she said, oh, my God, I don't want to be here while y'all do the rest of the excavation. Can I leave and go across the street and get me a sandwich? And they said, sure, old lady, you don't have anything to do with this. That woman got in a damn bus and went to Mexico. She was the killer.
Right. They let her go across the street.
But if you think me or Sidnet, if we was up in the house and we said, oh my God, there are bodies back there, we finna go down to the bodega. Y'all can look through what you want to look. You think they'd have let us go? No. So women know this. That's why women will put their hands on a man, like Sidnetta said, and still call the police. Why do you think women have no problem? Even when we get in the smallest of skirmish and our girl hit us, we don't want to call the police, do we? Nope. Because we know even when the police come, they might take us anyway. And we didn't do nothing.
Perfect example, Tommy. Shakira Richardson.
Yeah.
Beating her goddamn boyfriend up at the airport. And what happened when the police come?
Blame him.
He told the police, no, it's all right. She ain't hit me, because they was going to arrest her. And he still protected her. And all he was trying to get away from her. And she kept hitting him and hitting him. And
hey, but you know what's crazy about that?
Yeah, Cap. Because shout out to Jabari in the building.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you what's crazy. And I didn't want to bring this up just yet, but I was going to. The craziest part about that is that we see on video him saying she didn't hit me, even though the TSA agents know that she did hit her. She assumes that he told the police that she hit him. The police tell her, no, we saw it ourselves. When they arrest her, she said, y'all really gonna arrest me? All right, Christian. And now she's threatening him after the police say, we saw you hitting her. When she's going to jail, she said, I want to press charges on him too. When y'all talk about abuse, she's threatening. She's getting locked up. And what's heavy about that before that? The TSA agent said you could see on the camera as she's hitting him, he's telling her the cameras are there, let's stop. He's telling her, let's not argue.
Trying to protect
He's
her.
walking away from her the whole time. He's walking away from her. Let's not do this here. Let's not do it. This is a track star. And I'm going to tell you what else is disrespectful. This is how much women want to win in an argument. They said, you must be with hood women. Now, to make their point, they're going to make it seem like a woman that's brought up in the hood cannot be a good woman, cannot be a woman that's going to learn, cannot be a woman that's going to listen. Every black woman grew up in the hood. So you're telling me every hood woman is a bad woman, and so you must have been with a hood woman. Shakira is a track star, won gold Olympics, gold medals, and everything. And that brother tried his best to protect her. And when it came time for her to protect him, she disrespected him. And who was she nice to? Even if you watch that video, she was talking to Christian, her so-called boyfriend, with the utmost disrespect. And when you watch that video, when she talked to them cops, hey, no, I'm Shakira Richardson. You know, I'm a track star. I do this. Oh, Christian, hi, Christian, I'm going to get. That's how she talked to him.
But Captain, don't forget Chris Brown and Rihanna. Now it came out that Rihanna was the aggressor.
Yes.
Chris Brown was trying to stop her, like I said earlier, hold her when she went and hit him. And look at what they did to him. They tried to sabotage his whole goddamn career.
His whole career. But Sha'Carri, she did not get taken off the Nike team. They still dropped her shoe. She's still getting a run. But remember what happened to the boy from Kansas City Chiefs? Another example, Mr. Xavier Worthy. He was about to get kicked off the team because the girl he let live in his house was cheating. His neighbor told him, hey, bro, you might need to look at your camera. She be having men over in the house. He saw she did. He came home and just told her, you got to go. She said, I am not leaving. He said, you got to go. She then assaulted him, called the police, and said he assaulted her. This man spent the weekend in jail. And if it was not for the cameras, he would not be playing for the damn Chiefs right now. And these are these beautiful black queens. And she sure wasn't no hood chick. She was a racer. She wasn't no thug chick. She was an athlete for the United States, but she sure had a vagina, and it sure did bleed 3 to 7 days a month. So she had no problem throwing that black man under that white system that they claim we have to fight every day. 40% of the black men in jail right now are in jail because a black woman put them there. Not because a white woman did it. Not because the white man did it. Literally, she told on it.
Okay, so can I say?
Yeah, come on, sisters, you're quiet, man. What's up?
But let me just ask this so that I'm understanding. So this type of behavior is, you're saying it doesn't matter whether she's a lawyer at the top, she got her life together, got everything together, or she mid, she's the average woman, or she could be good. You're saying that the mentality of women, it don't really matter what level in society that they're on. The women just all pretty much, I'm not saying all of them, but we it's the mentality.
In general.
No matter what sociological level.
Yeah, it doesn't matter your background.
Right.
Yeah. If I can give an example,
Okay, can I say something, T?
Yeah.
They gave a whole bunch of examples.
Okay, so then, if like the story that what I was feeling is that it was sort of like women that was sort of, maybe not as educated and was cutting up. So you all know women that's well-to-do, that's really financially, psychologically, in all the different spectrums of life, that pretty much act out in this negative way. Do you all know actual women that's on that level that's acting out? Or is it just stuff that you see from TV? Because I personally know women that's well-to-do, and the mentality is totally different. We think different, we operate different, and we don't do the type of negativity that other women do. So I'm asking, the question, this is my question, and I'm gonna land it. So you are not telling stuff that you've seen on the internet. You are really interacting with women that's of a higher caliber that's acting in the way that Tommy was describing. Is that what y'all saying?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Give 99
Okay.
examples that this happens. Listen, we just gave some examples of people who were not hood in the street, laid up somewhere. We gave examples of women who had surpassed all of these things, but still did them because it's not a problem for them to do it. Because if society does not hold women to I will continue to say this, if society does not hold women to the same standard as they hold everyone else, they don't even hold them. I don't know if you listened to me earlier. They don't even hold them to the standard of children. Children, when they get out of line, you can put your hands on them because they out of line. But you're being told you can't even touch a grown woman, but you can touch a child. You give that kind of power to anybody, they're going to become abusive because they will abuse it. Women have become abusive because society allowed them to. They weren't able to be abusive before. Anytime you give somebody who's not used to having power, the only thing they learn, you remember what I said, if you like say women were abused before they had the right to vote, when they couldn't go out of the house, or when black women were in slavery, all these things. If these women were abused, all they learned was abuse. Now you turn around and give them power. What are they going to do? Exact their revenge. That's why you saw that girl try to get that man in trouble when he was trying to stop her from getting in trouble. We don't call the police on you because we literally, by the time a black man called the police on you, he damn near dead. Y'all will call the police because you broke your fingernail slapping me.
And Tommy, how many times we even see it in the movie theater and y'all copy that? How many times we see it on these real life TV shows with the women, with the sisters in the movies?
In niggas' faces.
Hold up, in the movies, because you mad and you hurt, you smack them, bow. And the brother just look and just have to walk away. Or sometimes they hold up and you got to walk away. So the sisters, y'all see it in the movie theater and y'all try that stuff on us. And then y'all watching these housewives and y'all try that stuff on us, man. I mean, come on, sisters, y'all quiet. Y'all real quiet.
Y'all know it's true. Y'all literally say a man deserves abuse.
Go ahead, Dots. Go ahead, Dots. Because no.
Yeah, I'm trying to listen to everyone's point. But I think that a lot of those things that you guys are mentioning, like the examples, I couldn't agree with y'all on. But these are laws, and this is a system that men built, right? Let's be clear about that, right?
White men.
But we're okay. But it's a system that men built. But I will say, to the question that you asked initially, Napa, about whether or not men or women are more abusive or not. For me, I think that's hard to quantify because I feel like you are who you attract in the moment, right? So it's easy for me to point the finger at you and there's three more pointing back at me, right? And oftentimes unhealed trauma manifests in a myriad of ways. And that's going to bring issues that aren't resolved in that person. So if I, like some of y'all was mentioning, growing up and seeing abuse in your household, and then, you get older and you're like, all right, that's what I saw. That's what I'll emulate, right? It can go that way, or it can go the way of, I'm not dealing with it. But in order for a person, man or woman, to identify those triggers, identify those red flags, right? That's in a person, you have to be able to see it. It's a me versus me thing. It's very easy for me to point the finger at you and say, it's you, but it's a me versus me because you are who you attract, period. At whatever point you are in your life, However, these are things that men built. Women didn't build it. These are laws that men enacted, not women.
I think when we talking about mental abuse, I know we talking about relationships and you talk about when you get to adulthood, but what I'm talking about is when children are born, girls are taught they can do what they want. That's what I'm talking about. And this is the anecdotal response that is worldly. I got a twin sister. She's 15 minutes older than me, but I act like the big brother. When we was growing up, I was taught by my mother, you don't hit girls. And you know who heard that? My sister heard that. You know who knew that? My sister knew that. So you know what my sister would do? My sister would hit me. My sister would hit me. She would do all kind of stuff, and I would not hit her back till one day my mother saw it. And when my mother sees her hit me, and she says, Why you let Tawana hit you like that? Now I'm older now, so my ad lib is a little different because I wanted to say like, B, you told me not to do it, but I'm just joking, y'all. But I said, well, you taught me not to hit girls, and my mother said the next time she hits you, hit her back. And now, armed up with this new information, I could not wait for Taronda to hit me. And sure enough, Taronda came and hit me. I hit Taronda back, and we never had that problem again. But in this society, girls are taught girls can hit boys, you can't hit that boy back. So by the time you become a teenager, by the time you become an adult, you're armed with this mentality on both sides of the spectrum. It's dozens of examples. I used this when me and Tommy was doing a show before. Ray Rice ain't played football again for hitting that woman for spitting on him. But Jay-Z got ridiculed for doing what a man is supposed to do. Lil Bow Wow got ridiculed for doing what a man is supposed to do. Jay-Z on that elevator, this woman is acting like a complete animal. And nobody said anything about what Solange did, but made fun of Jay-Z because he's standing there like this. And why is he scared to death to touch her, to do anything, to defend himself? Because he knows if I even raise my voice at her, they're going to say, why did you do that, Jay-Z? You're the man. You're supposed to be bigger than that. But nobody has ever taught the woman to be bigger than that, to act mature, to act like an adult. Any excuse that they want to use to act like a child and go off with their mouth and be in their feelings, they have a license for it. I like it.
Okay, I'm going to say this. Now, just like...
Hey, hold on. I would love to hear Nepal's take on it. Nepal ain't give us still yet.
Thank you. And I won't be long, Freedom. I'm gonna hand the mic over to you. Everybody is dropping some awesome jewels. I absolutely agree that women, most families, because I'm gonna get anecdotal as well. Most families are taught you don't hit girls, boys, which is actually because boys are stronger. So the intentions behind that are good. But guess what? In my family, we knew you don't hit boys, don't hit girls because he will knock you out and you'll be in the big you'll be messed up. What I'm saying is, I am afraid to hit men. I'll be honest. There is a respect thing. I know that a man can possibly kill me. Women should be knowing this because women are getting killed a lot by men because women are putting their hands on men and they are saying things that's men are snapping. So am I saying that it's right to unalive women? No, it isn't. However, keep your hands off of men because men they can snap your neck in no time. And these are harsh words, but these are harsh times.
Well, it's the same thing with women though, Paul. Think about it. I can't sit up here and beat my woman, then go and eat dinner. If she's smart, my grandma used to talk about that. You beat my ass and see what your dinner tastes like. I can't physically beat you, but I can put you to sleep. There's a lot of men that's resting right now and they never woke up because they thought it was okay to keep putting their hands on some woman.
Yeah, I'm going to Paul.
Shout the season.
That goes back to what Dots was saying about attracting. The violence can go to the point where somebody eventually ends up unalive. And yes, that woman, especially the Black woman, I've said this before, you're not just going to beat her and then she'll say something like, this is something I tell women to stop saying. When a man says, I'm going to unalive you, it's usually the Black woman should say, you ain't going to do nothing.
Yes.
And that's a bad thing to say to somebody. You have to be able to think this man is serious and he's stronger than me. So I wanted to just add that in. So yeah, you should keep your hands off of men. Men shouldn't hit women because men can hurt you, really, really hurt you. So women, don't hit men. You know what I'm saying? I said a lot. That's my take on it. So I'll be quiet and pass the mic over to
but it's dangerous when women get mad. I'm gonna pass it to you, Freedom. It's dangerous. What Tommy just said, it brought me back to the old school music. Remember that? It's 12 o'clock in the morning. I'm just getting in at the state of shock. From being dead. I mean, that's crazy right there. when you listen to
Al Green had a chest full of grits.
That's right.
Chest full of them.
In the shower. He was in the shower.
I was gonna talk about the hot grease and the all the hot whatever that gets thrown on, and they wait till you go to sleep. That's our old days.
Yeah.
But, anyway,
hey, Nepal, right after Freedom, can you get some clips? You said you got some clips that you might want to show.
I don't have any clips anymore.
Okay, Sister Freedom, you got the floor.
Okay, I want to say this. All right, statistically, men are more abusive. Okay, that's number one. Men are more abusive because they're always trying to control somebody. Second of all these little examples that you done gave, you really don't know what's behind the scene. You just caught Solange in the elevator fighting him because of what? A reaction from a action. And we don't know. They probably do that all the time. He might have did something to her sister and she jumped in it and she just, the aggressor, because you see Beyonce, she was standing back like, okay, because they do this all the time. Chris, Taurus, Rihanna and him, you caught where he was hitting her. They probably was fighting all the time. We don't know these examples. But me growing up, my brother was the one that was like, my father was telling him, you a man, a woman is beneath you, like in a sense, not saying in a disrespectful way, but like, you the king, you the one, you don't ever let a girl be over top of you. You don't ever let a girl do this or do that. You know what I'm saying? So the same way you're saying something about a woman and you're being taught not to hit a woman, in the same breath, we're hearing my parents say that the boy is over top. I got mad all the time. My brother always got away with stuff. He got the first car. He got the first this. He got the first that. So it makes him, in other words, be like he's over top of the woman. So the same way you giving examples about how a woman gets away with stuff, we can get examples on how the man gets away with stuff and how he's the abuser because he's trying to have control. Every time I've known about a woman doing something from a man to a man, it's a reaction from his action. You said something about the girl cheated on her man, and the lady said, you need to watch. She's bringing men to the house when you're not there or whatever the situation. And then when he came home, he said, you got to go. She probably was saying to him that we don't know. What about how many times I done let you get away with cheating on me? You done got away with it. So now that I'm cheating, you want to put me out. I ain't going nowhere. I'm just saying we don't know that. I mean, every time I've come across a woman doing something to a man, it is a reaction from a action.
But it still doesn't make it right. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying that it makes it
crazy.
No, wait a minute. I'm not saying that it makes it right. I'm just saying that, we shouldn't be doing nothing disrespectful to each other, period. I'm not going to say I don't agree with a lot of things that Tommy and Captain Tazaryach is saying, and on what Sonetta is saying. We are not strong as you are. We are not as strong as you are. We shouldn't be hitting you. But sometimes you can take us to a point where at that point, we don't care. I'm just being very honest. At that point, we don't care. It's getting ready to happen. And you can best believe y'all might be stronger than us. But that's when the grits and the knives and all that come into place, because we know you stronger than us. I'm being straight up. Since I wanted to go there, that's where it's going to go. We know you stronger than us. That's why you get the grits and the oatmeal, and we can't wait till you go to sleep, and all that kind of stuff comes into play. It's an action.
Wow, do you know what you just did?
Yeah, you making our point. Yeah, you making our point.
Well, whether I'm making a point or not, I'm being very, very honest. Most of the time, a woman
appreciate it.
It is
right.
A reaction from an action. The most of the time,
being honest. Isn't it about understanding the honesty that you're given?
Wait a minute, Tommy. Most of the time, she's even cussing you out and saying because you done did something.
Again, and you make women have to be constant victims.
But wait a minute.
We're picking up, bring it out, Tommy.
You're making women to be constant victims. Look what you.
None of y'all when y'all was talking, just like.
Well, you're not finishing either. You're just repeating yourself.
Wait a minute. Are you to Tommy?
No, I'm saying you're repeating yourself. You can ask the audience.
There, and that's what you was doing, but nobody said that you was doing that. But when you listen back to it, you're gonna hear yourself repeating too. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm gonna let you have it because I don't even want to go there. I don't because you interrupted me. You made me forget what I was about to say. That's
like you to, again, learning. I just would like you to look at some of the things that are being said to what you're saying, and from men and women. Just you could be right. Like I could be saying something that's very true. I could be saying, man, I just lay up in the bed with this man and tell everything me and this man do, and everybody starts shaking their head. Well, that's gay. Oh, hey, I'm just being honest. You are, but it's still gay. What you're saying is abusive. No matter how honest you are, it's abusive and dismissive. They gave anecdotal situations. You turned around and took those anecdotal situations and added things that weren't in there. You literally said, well,
true. Is it true? You don't know what happened when
hold on, but we do know what. Okay, ma'am.
So you're not going to minute the situation. I don't want to minute what you did just because you seen a reaction from a
but wait a minute. But if you're a cop, if you're a cop and they pull up on a situation and they see somebody beating you up, do you want them to separate, or do you want them to sit in their mind and think, I don't know what caused that person to do that, and just let it keep going?
But you want another page. What you talking about?
Dog. Come on, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you cannot just add in, well, we don't know. We only can go by what we absolutely know right then. What we know for a fact. Let's deal with the facts before we start adding things to it. And each of those things, when you were talking about the facts, the woman was the abuser when we saw it. You added situations to lessen her abuse. You said, we don't know if. Yeah, you don't know, but you do know this woman was doing this. That's why Doc said it doesn't matter. It's wrong.
That's all you saw, but you're not saying, Tommy.
Why do we need to see these other things? Why are you telling us this?
Because we want to know how it got to where it's at.
So then wouldn't that person who did it, again, always have an excuse then, which goes back to what I said at the beginning. But I'm saying at the beginning, what did I say women do? Every time they get caught, they make the excuse and say someone made them do it. Then you're not an adult if someone can keep making you do something.
You're an adult. You just had a reaction from an action. You're an adult. You was an adult when you did whatever you did. But I agree. When Paul said, should you just walk away? I'm a person that feels as though that you should just walk away. You should just leave.
I think women need to be retaught, or have to be retaught, because if we think about it, no, not on this subject, because men are raised to be more disciplined. They're raised that way. Women are raised that they don't. That's why I use my sister as an anecdotal experience that's reflective to the real world. Women are raised that they can say and do whatever they want to a man. Men are raised to be more disciplined. So it's impossible to believe that a woman is less violent. She has to be more violent because she was raised that way. And another stat that, like, when you bring up statistics, I would never do that, because a man can't even bring up his abuse.
Right.
If a man brings up he's abused by a woman, he's a punk. He's a sissy. He's a homo. He's everything under the sun, to where men accept the abuse, because if they go to a brother they believe if they come to me, now this ain't real, but this is what people believe. If they come to me, because I'm a counselor, and say, hey, my wife is doing this to me, or this lady is doing this to me, they believe I'm going to ridicule them. I'm going to expose them. I'm going to laugh at them. I'm going to talk about them, because you supposed to be tough enough to do what? Take it. Oh, that's just a girl. That's just this. So women have to be re-educated when it comes to discipline. Even as Sister Freedom keeps saying, she's not faulting, she's not taking away the blame, but this is the reason. A man can't use that reason. So if a man can't use that reason, then a woman can't use that reason either. And if we eliminate the reason and teach women And I ain't even saying a man has to teach a woman, even though we the best ones to teach him. That's just facts. But if a woman has to learn to have discipline in those moments, you know how many times a woman call the cops on a man because she angry, then by the time the cops come, she done left that anger and she done left her emotions? How many times a woman sends that crazy text to him? Oh, I was in my feelings about it. But we got to hear it. And then we got to take it because they're in their feelings. If women were raised with the same discipline that we have, it might not be that much abuse out there.
What happened? Didn't they do that to Bow Wow? What you was talking about?
That's my point, right? That's my point.
Him and calling them all kind of names.
Richie.
Because he hit the woman back.
You know them scratches Bow Wow got is because he's trying to stop her from hitting him.
Right.
Did though.
Lionel Richie. It's been years since that woman beat him, and they still joke about that woman beating him. Even say whatever you want. We make jokes about Al Green getting grits thrown on him, but all Al Green did was cheat. We wouldn't think it was funny that a woman, Lorena Bobbitt, she cut her man's penis off. Why? No woman had a problem with her doing that. Imagine if my girl cheated and I cut her clitoris off. Y'all would have told me, you should have just left. You don't do that. You don't mutilate somebody.
I wonder how much she took from him before she got to that point where she said,
Jesus Christ.
You don't know if he gave her a disease.
That's crazy.
He had a baby on her.
Don't know it either.
How does that equate to his penis getting cut off, though?
I love you, freedom. We have two different emotions. So what you might think is minute to you because you a man may not be minute to us because we are women and we got different emotions. We got different actions. We got different reactions for your action is what I'm saying. Stop minute in what you do. And Cap, I'm sorry, you are not the best teacher for a woman. A woman is the best teacher for a woman, and a man is the best teacher for a man. Why don't you?
When you say a woman is the best,
wait a minute. I said a woman is the best teacher for a woman, and a man is the best teacher for a man because he can talk about the experiences that he can talk about the experiences that he may have went through to try to stop him from going through what he may have went through. Just like a woman needs to be taught by a woman on what she may have went through in her life and in her relationships. And you shouldn't do this or do this. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not talking about I'm not talking about education.
The man is trying to have some form of control over the woman, and that's the reason why you may say a man, so he can tell her what to do. He can advise her. He can advise her. I'm not saying he can't advise her. Just like
just to be clear, I'm on a specific subject. I'm talking about disciplining your mouth and self-control. A woman can't teach it. A woman can't teach another woman that because a woman was never taught to have control and know what that even looks like. She don't even know what. You know where most women learn their self-control from? Their fathers. They don't learn their self-control from their mothers. They learn that from their fathers because that's.
Because this is the reason why we're the way we are. Because a man didn't do what he was supposed to do as a man. So
now, as you saying the man ain't doing what he's supposed to do, it's because that woman more than likely put that man out the house, and that's why he's not there to do what he's supposed to do. But on the subject of discipline, women have been raised to be disciplineless. That's what you've been raised as. Whereas boys have been raised to be disciplined since they were born. On the subject of no, they have not. Yes, what we talking about. That's why I have yet to see any story where a man just hit this woman for no reason. But we've given a plethora of stories where men have been patient with women and women have not listened. The most current is Sha'Carri Richardson. That's the prime example of what we talk about. That on the video, that woman threw his ass up against the damn pole. He fighting the pole like she was on security or some shit. And you know what he did? And you know what's crazy? You know what he did? He went off camera. And as he's off camera, he's telling her, listen, they got cameras in here. Because you know what he recognized in that moment? I'm Christian Coleman, a track star. This is Sha'Carri Richardson, a track star. We're not normal human beings. We don't want this to hit the internet. Hey, don't do this. Let's talk about this later. You know what she like? Man, F that. I want to talk about this now. Push them some more. Through his headphones. He walks over. He's still trying to walk away from her. And as she does that, when the TSA gets involved, she acts innocent to them. Now, imagine if somebody would have taught her discipline of how to carry herself. She would have followed her man's lead. You said we want a form of control. He should have controlled her. And if she would have been under his control and they had that issue, he would have said, hey, let's talk about this later. She would have recognized the situation and said, you know what, you're right. I don't want to do this at this airport. Because she did it her way, her dumbass went to jail and then tried to get him arrested. Said, I got videos of him.
Out because he's he
video. Thumb up the video.
You said he bailed her out, right? Wait, hold on 1 second, son. Hold on. You said he bailed her out, right?
No, listen, that's what y'all do.
That's what you said.
Yes, she did. She did.
Okay, no problem. When he bailed her out, that's the proof that he's the one being abused. That's all you prove.
He likes
You're proving that. So just think about it. Just think about it. He's getting beat up. He's getting stalked in the airport. Cops come. He lies for her. She gets arrested. Still blames him. Tells them, I got proof that he abused me. I want him to go to jail. Tells her he's going to, excuse me, she tells him he's going to get vengeance, and he still bailed her ass out.
Because he liked
Right,
it.
Nepal,
now you and the fact that you said, wait 1 second, sir. The fact that you said he like it, I would feel sorry for whoever's with you as the boyfriend.
Thank you.
If you got a boyfriend, I would feel sorry for that.
Freedom, hold on, time out. Nepal, when you finish, can you ask Sakina Ra's question? Go ahead, Nepal.
I can ask her a question right now. Ask how revenge is best served. She's asking you to ask that.
I know, but you was going to go next. That's why I said when you finish.
Thank you for the super chat, Queen. We love you, Sakina. So I want to ask some questions of the men, because when I hear Freedom say control, we need to find out there is, how do I phrase this? How do I put this? Okay. Ladies, then we're going to hand this quickly over to the men. I'm going to ask Dots because and I know Sister Wise, you all have great answers, but Dots, she's really concise and to the point. So should we give our men control in a relationship? And then I'll go ask another question to the men. Should men have control over us to a certain extent? Or let me hear from you, Dots.
Okay. You know what? Listen, if you found your person, if I'm good with my man and we have found something and we're rocking, and to him it's important that he feels like he's in control, I'll give that to him, right? Because I'm still the neck. You could be the head and I'm the neck, right? I'll let you lead if that's important to you, right?
Hey, give her a horn, so I'll give her a horn for that.
I know how to.
Captain. Let me let her finish because there's another question I want to ask. Go ahead, Dr.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I think So I don't think that is, for me personally, that's not a major issue. Lead, baby. I have no problem massaging that ego, but I'm still the neck, right? So it's still integral. They're both important. They're both necessary. They both have really important functions, right? And you can't have one without the other. So that's how I'll answer that. Yeah.
Thank you. That's good. Okay, now I want to ask the men. I'll start with Sonetter, and then Sonetter, you can hand it over to either one of the gentlemen on the panel. Sonetter, in your opinion, hearing that a woman says, yes, I will give control, would you admit that sometimes men aren't taught? We talk about how women are not taught. Men are not taught how to be responsible with that control. Yes or no? And then elaborate and pass it on to the other gentleman. You're muted.
Yes, I believe that there are a lot of men that's not responsible with that control, and the woman should automatically recognize that, So yes, I believe that the men I agree with everything Sister Dot said. You know, you should hand over that responsibility and control to your man. You should listen to your man, especially if you say you love him and you want to be with him. You see? And so if you love him and you want to be with him, then you have to pass down that. You have to humble yourself and let that man lead you and guide you the right way because he's doing it for you. So yes, I agree with Sister Dots, you know.
Can I just say real quickly? I'm sorry. I apologize for interrupting. But I also think to that point, that it's not just you. I wouldn't give that power to just any man, right?
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? You have to, that's something that's earned, right? Like through what's connected. So it's not like just because I'm dating a man, any man can just get, because that's power. That's a lot of power, right? So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there as well. Yeah.
Right. She's sharp.
Okay.
She knows where I'm going with that. So
I want to pass the mic to Sister Wise because she's been trying to get in and she ain't been, you know, Sister Wise.
No,
And before she go, I got about 10 more minutes, I got about 10 more.
All right, Captain.
I'm good. I'm enjoying the conversation. But go ahead, ask me whatever you want.
Is it right to give your man control in a relationship? Is that what women should do?
Absolutely no. Not at all. I mean, on no level.
I love my sisters.
On no level.
I love you, Sister Wise. I love y'all. Y'all are killing the brothers over here. They're looking like, what? I gotta hear from the men after you. Okay, go ahead, Sister Wise.
Did you say giving him control?
Yeah, should a man have control when he's in the, because Freedom kept saying, well, he wants to control us. Is that wrong for your man to control you?
Yeah. Okay, so we as humans have a hard time controlling ourselves. So the man has to control his testosterone. He has to control his emotions, the violence that's lurking within. He has to control all of his issues that's going on from his childhood, his traumas, just high school, elementary. It's a lot of stuff that's within us all. So it takes a lot for one to control that. You have to go through therapy. You got to go through all type of counseling. You got to get your spiritual self together. He has so much that he has to do to control himself. How dare he comes over into our world and asks us? That would be so foolish to let me control what you're doing. You sit on your bottom and you become the best that you can be. I sit on my bottom and I work through my issues and I become the best that I can be. And then we work together. So no, you do not let anybody control you, except of course the divine. You let our Creator control and move your life. No, you do not let men do that. That's to me, that's almost insane. I can't fathom anybody doing such a thing, letting another human control their lives. So no.
Thank you, Sister Wise. Captain, you said you got to go soon. What do you say about that question? And Captain, remember I asked you as gentlemen, men, sometimes is a control. Men need to be taught how to do that, how to be in control.
Yeah, I bet that divine is a man's spirit. So you be controlled by something a man you can't see, but won't let a man that you see control you. I like Dot. When Dot said he can be the head because I'm the neck, that's the union. Like the whole point of when we say, and this is the problem with black women. I like when Shahrazad Ali said it best.
I love her.
The black man has not been allowed to be in control of his woman for the black woman to feel like she need to be separated from him. But black women believe that she should not be controlled by a man. No other female species really believes that. Even white women only fight for economic liberation. Not marital liberation, not any other type of liberation. But black women were taught every song, I'm independent. I don't need no man until he jumping up and down on you, putting babies in you. Then all of a sudden you want child support or something like that. So I'm going to answer both questions in one. Men have to be re-educated in what that control looks like. because men also, like, from a ground species, we both at the bottom, the black man and black woman. We both have to be re-educated on our roles. Women in their submissiveness, men in their dominance, because that's the balance that's supposed to work. So even though I'm saying a man should control his woman, I'm not saying every man is built like that, because they're not. But you can be re-educated to be built like that. So the same way a man has to be re-educated for that, a woman has to be re-educated for her submissiveness, and then we'll begin to heal as far as relationship goes. So I'm gonna stop there. I want to hit my boy Tommy response.
I dropped that bomb, by the way. That was
thank you, Nepal. Appreciate that, Nepal. Appreciate that.
Fire. Okay, baby. Go ahead.
He did his thing, but I got to tell him, but this is one small place where we disagree. But I am not the person that probably is best to be disagreeing. So I always look at things. I say you can have people disagree, then look at their life or look at how it worked out for them and listen to them that way. So he has more of an understanding, I would say, is not default to him. But I really don't like hearing with the word "let." That doesn't sit well with me when the young lady said, "I'll let him."
What?
Because if you know the order of life, you don't let anything. But I love when you said they love to give themselves to Jesus. Black women love Jesus because Jesus white and Jesus is never around. They can do Jesus all wrong. They cheat on Jesus. They tell Jesus they ain't gonna whore. They go whore. All they do is say, "I'm sorry to Jesus." Jesus take them right back. They love Jesus because Jesus, they can treat him like crap whenever they want to. And they claim Jesus see everything they doing. So while you up there in the middle of that orgy, you know Jesus is up there just a crying, and you keep doing it anyway because that's your man. So if that's your main man, no wonder you treat your other men like crap. Anyway, the whole thing about it is when you say "let," that doesn't sit well with me, because when you understand a coach is a coach, Michael Jordan doesn't say, "I'll let whoever's coaching the team coach me." Whoever's coaching that team has got to be the coach. There has to be order. There has to be an understanding of you pick that man. So there shouldn't be a thought of letting at all. If he's not good enough to be the coach of your team, why'd you hire him? If you why would you hire? Think about this. Why would you hire a coach and then you go coach? You just wasted a salary. Any woman that says, "I'll let a man," and that is, if you notice, most black women say this line, "I'll let a man when he's there." And then when you end it with, "Because I know I'm the neck." So you literally are saying, like Jerry Jones, "I'll let you coach the team because I know I make the final decisions." Wow. Then why are we here? You're with me because you know you can tell me what to do? What? That is horrible, ladies and gentlemen. Not that I'm trying to knock them. I'm saying the thought process keeps us down because this person's supposed to say, just like when I get a woman, I'm supposed to put this woman in my life because she fits this bill. Not I'm going to let her. By the time she's there, she's supposed to already have that done. Same thing I do when I'm having my deck bill. I'm not sitting there telling them I'll let them do. No, I hired them and they are the experts at that job. That's why they're getting paid, and that's why I hired them. And that's why I did my background check on them before I hired them. Black women need to do their background checks on their men. I love it. The dude said, "Hey, MJ getting the ball whenever." Coach Tommy. The whole thing was Michael Jordan was like, they kept saying they didn't understand, from Dean Smith to Doug Collins to all of them. They literally said one of the greatest things about Michael Jordan is his ability to, no matter how big of a star he was, he always wanted to be coached. He liked being a player. That's why Mike never became a coach. He liked being a player. He liked being coached. That's why no coach ever said he was difficult to coach. Kobe, on the other hand, was difficult to coach because he knew better than you. He would get coaches hired and fired. Mike just played. Whenever you're the neck and the reason why you're hiring the coach is because you're going to go over him, don't let me be your man because you think you can control me. I don't like that.
I have to, Tommy, I gotta respectfully disagree with you on that.
Hey, sorry, before you go into, I'm about to roll. But sorry, before you go, yeah, no sweat. Hey, peace to the panel. I wish I could stay longer, but I do got to take care of something. It's a fire. You got to do a part 2, Si. You got to do a part 2. Let's do a part 2. Yeah, no sweat. All right, man. Y'all take it easy, man. Peace.
All right, Tommy, I respectfully have to disagree with you on that because
you told me before I came on this show, Sonetta, that this would not happen. You said you would not disagree with me, and you broke